welcome. Today I'm joined by Simon Bodsworth, Managing Director of Daval Furniture. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Elliott. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Firstly, thanks for joining me today. Hope you and the family are well.
Obviously, it's strange times, but we're having a great time as a family.
Yeah, good. I guess, as you said, it is strange times. Firstly, how are you finding the market situation currently? And given the circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, obviously, clearly, it's very strange and very uncertain. But if we just park the market side for 1 minute, I think I'm very appreciative of the time that we get to spend with the family. As you know, as very much as we are busy in business, I only get to spend this amount of time with my family as if we were on vacation. So we're making the most of it. We even camped out at the weekend in our own back garden, cooked sausages and things. So it's about creating memories and trying to make a positive come out of all of this. From a market point of view, it's given us the opportunity to all reassess, isn't it? And that's product, place, customer base, the lot. So I'm using it as a positive experience and concentrating on the things that I can control.
Yeah, good. I guess as well, how you had to adapt to the changes, with the market situation, and what overall impact has it had really on you as a business?
The main thing is the speed. The speed is obviously the way that the changes are coming to the market. That's affected most things. So our business is completely into independent retailers, and so because of the government announcements and the restrictions that came into play with that, they therefore closed all their showrooms virtually overnight, and so it had a huge impact on the business. We managed to maintain a number of key deliveries, so nobody was without a kitchen at that period of time, which was very important. But therefore, then after, it was more about protecting the position, the staff, and doing what was right. So we had to temporarily close on the back of it. I think there's because of the speed, it created a lot of panic for most people, which hopefully now has disappeared, and we're over the other side of that, and people are now putting their mindset onto moving forward. We have been speaking very proactively to our customer base and our whole supply chain to be able to understand what is going on, what everybody's plans and thoughts are of how the things will change. But the key thing to us is that agility is the main thing, that you as a business, your business methods and particularly your leadership team have to be very agile in their thought process. So we're looking at things like flexible lead times, further bespoke options, but also then trying to ensure that we educate to our clients what the latest products are in the market and what are the trends as well. So how can we link the two together so that clearly customers are going to be more discerning when we come out of this? So how can we help justify that spend further and give them more information to link up with the current trends that we are aware of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess on that as well, it sort of links into that. But I know you've been conducting video sessions recently with your partners. I've kindly been asked to sort of sit in on one of those, which was excellent. How are you finding these, and what's the reaction been like from these partners?
I've been blown away, if I'm honest. I expected around about half a dozen to maybe 10 people just to discuss what was going on, and generally I was unsure on how many people would be able to adapt to video conversations like now. But obviously everybody's had to embrace it so quickly that it's become a key thing, and we've actually been very blessed in terms of how much feedback we've had, and we've averaged around about 60 people per session at the moment, as we talk about product, market trends, or just a platform. So the main thing that's come out of it is the ability to build a community and then to share ideas about what's going on in the market and how we can get out of it together, and that togetherness is very key. And it's obviously about shared learning. How can we learn from each other to move forward quickly?
Yeah, it's amazing as well that you've had sort of 60 participants at a time. The fact that you can do that just purely through sort of technology these days is brilliant. Are there any other activities that you're doing to engage with your partners and customers at this time?
So we've brought in we very much put knowledge before assumption. And at the back end of last year, our leadership team went through a trend mapping workshop with a company called Trend Monitor. And we've actually brought Jane in, and we had a session just yesterday, actually, just from a third-party point of view, just provide some more education out of what's going on in the market and how further can we help. So we're linking up with key partners and such as yourself to be able to give more information on quality information back to our customer base. I've been personally calling everybody on a one-on-one basis as well, because it's also about how can we tailor our needs to each other, and is there any private conversations we can go along there, because we've got some very strong and key partnerships. So we've been doing that. And also social platforms as well has been very important for us. So LinkedIn in particular, to be able to just discuss and share ideas and you know, again, gain more traction about what's going on as a KBB community.
Yeah. I mean, with those, and obviously there's lots of changes as we know, but do you think these will have an impact in the way that we work and engage in the future? You know, what I guess once we get back to some form of normality, when you know, whenever that is, and you know, do you see those changes really as a positive as well? What you're doing at the moment?
Yes. Again, the ability of this time has been able to people reassess that position. So, is all business travel necessary? I think we're able to also then work our time a lot more proactively, and you could probably get more done in a day. We see a big push as an employer. You see a push or need for people wanting flexible work solutions as well, and I think likes of more video calls and things like that means you can condense your time and use it more proactively. People have a more acute awareness of their impact on the environment as well. So again, travel therefore need to be necessary. But I think what it does mean is that when we do have then face-to-face communication, we're doing it for a reason, for an experience, and we'll get a lot more out of it there as well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in light of the situation as well, are there areas of the business and topics that you see becoming more important to customers that you can use to promote as a benefit? You know, I guess, and with that, you know, are you also looking to promote these with your customer base already?
Yeah, so for me, the largest trend for the next 10 years will be based on sustainability. Again, this time it's been a growing trend anyway, but this current position has accelerated everybody's information and also thought process around the area. I'd also say that goes into a number of different topics of sustainability. So we're looking at where do the products come from, and I'd see much more people buying British. One, for a number of different reasons. I'd say design trends is key. We have certain type of architecture and climate which is very different to the rest of Europe. So I'd say that's definitely design trends is more important. Where your products are sourced from. So are they ethical? Do they have sustainable practices? Is there ways that we can adapt models like the circular economy where we can take resources and reuse them back into the system, which is very important. And also, can we therefore reduce the carbon footprint when we're sourcing our products and bringing in key materials and shipping them all around the country? So that's huge, and it's key to us. But there's also then, how do we bring the whole value chain together? Because it will only work if the whole chain does come together and share their ideas and the practices or the things that they are doing, to then be able to pass those on to the end consumer to provide more value. Buying locally or buying British, that can even go down into, from our aspect, it's about independent retailers. So for them to be the voice of their local community, to bring people in and to be a recognised brand name on their own high street is very important as well. So I'd say you combine the whole things, four aspects of those together, it becomes an interesting topic. And you can even start to look at the likes of the war on plastics. Now, I know we started to look at where people originally were moving their shopping bags away to other sustainable methods, but you've seen that come all the way through to food retail. And now it's also as from a furniture manufacturing point as well, where we could substitute non-recycled to recycled elements, or we could move things away from plastics to cardboard. So it's a huge topic, but one that's getting a lot of traction, a lot of interest from our customer base.
Yeah. I mean, purely on that as well, and I have to agree. I think we're certainly seeing this topic of sustainability becoming more and more important. I think probably particularly with the A&D community, the last sort of 6 to 12 months for us, we've seen that, with many architects and designers, and even their practices as well. They're now conducting sustainability audits, where they're assessing what products they're using, to specify for the future. And here at EGGER, I guess it's something that we haven't really shouted enough about probably in the past. Now it seems to be a little bit more topical. But I guess the fact that, our melamine first chipboards produced here in the UK, with locally sourced wood, but it also, creates a carbon negative product, which designers, specifiers, manufacturers, are certainly looking at now. And as you say, it's starting to come through on a consumer level. And I think now, from what we've seen with the E&D community, now we're starting to see that within the KBB industry. And they're also starting to get on board. So as you say, I certainly see that becoming more and more important as time goes on. I think with that, are you also seeing it as more of a key important factor in terms of what you're doing? Does it become it? I guess it's probably not there yet, but will it become one of the key things for your business?
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's something that we've embraced for a number of years anyway. And a bit like EGGER, it's something that we've done in the background and not necessarily talked about. And the workshop definitely made it very clear to us about how important this is and why customers value that, because they're not buying necessarily products, they're buying an identity or a lifestyle. And so, we've made that a key part of our messaging for the last 6 to 9 months, and even product launches based around how can we talk about these elements to make it a stronger point, and how can we therefore put the marketing behind it to support the conversation. People have pushed back in some instances and said, well, nobody's ever walked in my showroom and said, can I have a partially recycled kitchen? Or what sustainable credentials does this kitchen have? But it's like I said back to them, and I think the car industry and the furniture industry are very closely aligned. You go back 5 years, how many people were walking into car showrooms and asking for an electric car? Now let's look at the traction that market's got there. So clearly that's only going to be the same for us as a KBB community. And furniture will, the same sustainability aspect of furniture will become a lot more important and a growing area within the purchase decision process. Like I say, I think it's our community. So it's about showing how we can collaborate as a supply chain to make this more important. And what we already are doing, this isn't just because it's a trendy topic, we've done it for a number of years already. But what I can say is this was a big part of our marketing at the KBB exhibition in March. And we were very fortunate to have literally hundreds of key independent retailers and designers come to us and say, this is the right time. Our customers value it. They're looking for more credentials, more value, more sustainable aspects of their furniture, and it's more valued throughout the whole chain. So now is the right time. People are ready for it. There are some fantastic products out there that you can do now. So I think you go back a number of years and maybe they had the credentials and the product didn't look right, or the product looked great but didn't really have the credentials, and vice versa. But I think the momentum over the years has made that now right. It's acceptable. It's there. And as I say, I think now's a perfect time for all of us to go out and push these marketing messages.
Yeah, definitely. I guess on that as well, of course, I know you've recently won an award, the Made in Yorkshire Award for sustainability, and now you're up for the national award as well. So yeah, congratulations on that. I guess can you give us some more insight into the process and how it was awarded?
So there was some very strict judging criteria and a number of key business leaders throughout the region, and manufacturing growth programs, and people around the manufacturing community were looking at this from a number of furniture that's interested in this area of the market. It's also then the business market as a whole, isn't it? Daval, as a company, we've always had sustainable practices coming through, and back in 1992, it's actually when we introduced the nightingale into as a key part of our logo, because it was about sourcing sustainable products and knowing the fact that we, obviously use a lot of timber, a lot of wood, and therefore that needs to come from properly managed forests. But it's also about what certification was in place. How much of your purchases are British? 13% of our entire purchase ledger comes from euros. Everything else is from the UK. We've got handles from Birmingham. We've got paint from Manchester, and clearly with yourselves, we've got timber all throughout the UK. So it's a big part of that. We then started to look away from materials and said automation is a big part of what we can do with sustainability, because that can really reduce the amount of waste that we do, but then also when we've got waste, what do we redo with it? So it can provide information back to your management team, and you can make decisions a lot quicker and a lot easier. Also then, what can we do with people? Because sometimes when you introduce automation in, people think, oh, well, it's my job, but that for me, people can then come back in and do more added value sustainability checks or waste reduction or communication back to your customer base. So that was key. We have moved certain packaging elements away from plastics onto cardboard, and PVC elements away onto PET, and how we can start to use more recycled credentials from there as well. But how can we take resources we do and then create a circular economy? So things like we use a full biomass system, and we have done since 2007. We send product back to our supply chain so it can be brought down into new materials as well. So it's about having a full end-to-end view of the process, how you can integrate it into your business practices. So it was just great to be recognised, if I'm honest, the business community.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I mean, I guess as well, if you don't mind, can you explain how EGGER fit into this topic for you as a business?
So EGGER is not a supplier to us; it's a key strategic business partner, and we have a very intimate relationship and know each other's businesses very, very well. Clearly, EGGER is our largest supplier. So I think there's a lot in terms of we have shared culture and shared values, and as a large supplier to us, the reflection of your brand and your product obviously therefore reflects back on us as a company as well. And it's very much about collaboration. Products are becoming very, very similar in today's marketplace, and so what we can do is your supply chain or your value chain can create a lot of differentials. So EGGER's a key part, and the way that the investments and the people and the developments within the company are allowing Daval to stand out and offer the latest products to the market in a very much more sustainable way. And I was very fortunate back in the early 2000s to actually spend a little bit of time working for EGGER. So for me, this is what the benefit from that was that you can see that the topic of sustainability, it's not just a trendy topic. This is something that's deep rooted in the culture of the business and the family values all the way back in Austria. And how much people care, that's the other thing. You can't teach someone to care. And that's very much within the culture of the business and how the products are sourced, and even down to the forestry as well. So again, that reflects highly upon us as a business, and therefore our offer back out to our market as well, and just creates a lot more value for our product and our brand.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, again, Simon, thanks again for your time today. I guess it's really appreciated that you've done it, but also as well really eye-opening to see business such as yourselves becoming sort of stronger through the current situation that we find ourselves in. I guess to finalise really, how do you think the market for sustainable kitchens and products is likely to develop over the coming years really, but also how important is the topic likely to be from a consumer level in the future?
As a family business, it's very important to us. We feel very privileged to be in the second generation of our business, and likewise, we want to inspire future generations to come into the KBB industry and be part of that. And when we start looking at millennials and Gen Z, people are very much attracted to new jobs, to attract top talent. People are looking for purpose, and the area of sustainability can allow us to attract the top talent that's out in the market, but also then create more value into the product. So it's going to become a lot more important, because clearly right now consumers are going to be a lot more discerning with their money, and in order to justify the purchase, let's say, the sustainable aspects are only going to become higher in the purchase decision process. We'd also see sustainability in terms of be important in the industry, because it's how can we, as I say, how can we inspire that next generation, and how do we become, just as yourselves were saying, how can you become a carbon neutral plant? And everybody's got that expectation of how can they do more for the future. So because of the time right now, the other thing I'd say is, because we're in lockdown, you get this feeling that everybody's being told what to do. Yeah. And I think as we come out of this, what we'll find is consumers and ourselves looking at this and saying, well, now that I've been told what to do, when I move forward, personalization will be a greater aspect of our purchase decision process. And part of personalization is about sustainability, because when I'm buying that product, it says a lot about me as a person, and to my friends and to my family and to the wider community about what my culture and what my values are. So it's only going to gain more and more importance, I think, Elliott.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah. And one last question. I guess we are in lockdown currently at the moment. What's the main thing that you'll take from all of this? And also as well, because a few people have asked me as well, what's the first thing that you want to do when it's all over?
Go. The first thing is value experiences. I don't miss business travel as an example, but I do miss going to restaurants with my family and interacting with people. I miss being in front of customers and people like you, to where we can collaborate and share ideas, and that'll only be valued even more.
Yeah.
What am I going to do when I'm out of this? Probably get a haircut.
Oh no, that's great. Thank you very much for your time, Simon, and hopefully we can catch up soon.
Yeah, no problem. Again, thank you for the opportunity. It's very much appreciated.